Hey there, it's Maida Leon and welcome back to episode 2 of the Confident Creator Show. I'm so excited about today because I'm going into the second installment of the 3-part series on tackling the most common roadblocks for creatives and business owners. If you missed out on the first installment, I highly recommend you give that a listen first because it is closely related to today's topic. In the last episode, I gave you a simple tip on how you can overcome fear and what's the one thing that makes a successful person different from others. So if you'd like to find what those are, feel free to listen to episode 1 first and then come back to this one. Hey there! I'm Maida Leon and my mission is to help creatives like you translate what you love to do into a highly profitable income. I'm a mom of 3 who began as a lettering artist and grew it into a 6-figure business. If I made it possible, so can you. Every week, we'll dive deep into topics like building your confidence, getting comfortable talking about money, and nurturing your passion while juggling life and family. So if you're an ambitious creative who wants to craft the life you love, get cozy, feel at home, and listen to the Confident Creator Show. So, for today, we're going to tackle the second top reason that's holding you back from doing what you want. And that is self-doubt. We'll discuss why it's so harmful to you and your business and the 5 proven ways to help you overcome it. So, let's get right to it. I truly believe that self-doubt is the ultimate killer of dreams. It's the persuasive and troubling inner voice that's going to not only trip you up on your path to creating the successful life you want, but it's also the voice that's going to mislead you and make you stray from that path, or even worse, convince you that you're not worthy enough of your dreams. So what happens when you let that inner voice, that inner critic, take charge? You start holding yourself back. You decide you're not fully going to invest yourself into whatever goal you want to achieve. When you make decisions, you always do it with one foot out the door, ready to bail at the first sign of failure. Now, I'm not saying having an escape plan is bad. Like I said in the previous episode, creating a safety net is important when it comes to taking risks. But here's the difference between a safety net and an escape plan. An escape plan is planning for failure. You're anticipating that the building will collapse around you, while a safety net will allow you to fall and then bounce right back up to try again. Self-doubt isn't going to make you want to try again when you encounter your first setback. It's going to tell you that you're not good enough. You're not cut out for this. You're not worthy. That's why self-doubt is a killer of dreams. It's so harmful and dangerous to not only your business, but your confidence as well. Self-doubt comes in many forms, from low self-esteem to feeling like an imposter when you look at others around you. The truth is, struggling with our self-belief and doubt is normal, and everyone goes through it. The underlying reason is because of how many times we've been told no, or told that we're not good enough. Have you found yourself in a situation where you keep constantly being rejected? Think back to your school days, during sports in school, and no one wants you on their team. Or have you tried auditioning for a school play and then find out that you didn't make the cut? What happened then? Did you give up playing sports because you've resigned yourself that you're not good at sports? Did you decide that you're just going to be part of the backstage crew because you're not good enough for the spotlight? It's experiences like these that build up as we grow older and makes it easy for us to reject our dreams and hopes. Or perhaps you're like me, conditioned from a young age to not dream too big or get too ahead of myself. You see, I'm a Filipino. And as far as I know, the Asian culture can be really harsh. My parents embody this. They are realists, and my siblings and I grew up being told not to get too ahead of ourselves and that we should just accept whatever cards life hands us and be grateful for it and to not let our heads get too full of dreams. As a parent myself, I kind of get where they're coming from. They were just protecting us from the disappointing realities of unrealized dreams they must have experienced themselves, trying in their way to soften the blow when we face failures in our lives. But despite their good intentions, it's really more harmful than good. That's why with my children, especially my twins, I will not subject them to this type of conditioning. Instead, I'm equipping them with skills and knowledge on how to overcome obstacles they will face instead of just telling them to just give up. Because let me tell you, it is so hard to shake off these types of conditioning that we either put on ourselves or others have piled on us. Even now at my age, I still hear the nagging voices of my parents in my head telling me I'm overambitious whenever I want to do something. But if I didn't overcome my self-doubt, I wouldn't have started my online career. Let me take you to when my business first really took off. I started as a blogger in 2007, sharing bits and pieces of our life online. I was able to grow traffic to my blog and attracted a few blog advertisers. I had a decent following and was earning an average of $100 a month from ads and sponsorship. I wasn't really too concerned about making my blog really profitable because back then I had a full-time job. Then I discovered digital scrapbooking around the same time and taught myself Photoshop. It was fun because I was able to preserve my twin daughters' growing up moments. I bought a ton of digital kits from big scrapbook brands. Then I realized I don't want to keep spending a lot of money on kits, so I started developing my own. It took a couple of months to learn while I was handling the advertising team of the scrapbook community I was in at that time. All sorts of thoughts ran through my mind. Like, who am I to sell my own kit? I'm not a designer. I'm self-taught. And there were plenty of other people out there creating way better designs than I was. Eventually, with the urging of my own community and telling myself that I was going to regret this if I don't try, I applied to sell my designs at an online shop called My Life and Scrap. And to my delight, I got accepted and soon was selling my scrapbook kits. But that wasn't the end of it. I also got accepted at 4 other online marketplaces and was making an average of $2,000 to $3,000 per month. The income from selling my designs made me realize that I could make a full-time career doing this. And in that instant, all my self-doubts were kicked to the curb. My business has evolved over the years, and that led me to where I am now. But can you imagine if I hadn't overcome those initial self-doubts? I wouldn't be here talking to you about it today. I've experienced many bouts of self-doubts in my business and in life over the years, and will probably continue to experience them. But in those years, I've used these 5 powerful ways to help shut that inner voice. Number 1, reframe your thoughts. I'm a huge fan of doing this, and if you've not watched episode 1, this is a crucial way to help you overcome not only your fears, but your self-doubt as well. The first thing you have to do, of course, is to dig deep and let all your self-doubts surface to the top of your mind. Write down all of your self-doubts. For each and every one of your negative thoughts, write a positive thought next to it. You can even write down these positive thoughts on cards as affirmations so you can read aloud each day. Not only will it help you reframe your negative thoughts, but will also provide you with a confidence boost. For example, if you write down, "I am not a good enough artist to be selling my art," change that to, I'm an artist and I can create art that people want to buy. Another way for me to reframe my thoughts whenever I'm faced with self doubt is simple. I have one question that helps me banish all of them. And that's, am I going to regret not doing this? This thing is FOMO, my friend. This fear of missing out and regret is what really drives me to push forward to achieve all of my goals. It is such a strong emotion than my self doubt. Number two, stop comparing yourself to others. Oftentimes, our insecurities stem from when we start comparing ourselves with others. Your journey is your journey to make. It is also a unique one that'll be peppered with experiences only you have. Whoever you're comparing yourself to, they have their own journey and experiences to help them get where they are. You're probably starting out in this journey and you're someone who has been on the road for something but busted a tire along the way. Comparing yourself to someone who is ahead is not fair to you. I've experienced this myself. Right after the high I got from my first hand lettering project to create an alphabet coloring book, I started questioning myself, wondering if it was just a fluke, a one-time deal. After all, again, I was self-taught with no design background. Those self-doubts were banished soon after when more projects came in. But I couldn't help myself. I started comparing myself against some of my favorite artists, many of whom were wildly successful. So I did something that surprised a lot of people. I unfollowed all of them. Yes, it's quite drastic, but if that's what I had to do to stop comparing myself, I'd do it in a heartbeat. Number three, surround yourself with positive people. So there's a saying that goes like this: you are the average of 5 people you spend the most time with. I prefer to think that I'm more than that because the 5 people that I spend the most time with is my husband and 3 children. But the main point is, who you spend time with matters. If you're always hanging out with people that always complain, criticize, and condemn, that's going to affect your thinking. It's really best for you if you start distancing yourself or putting up boundaries from these people. They're going to hold you back from doing what you want and from living the life you want. But I know some of you will probably go, but what if the negative and critical people in my life are people I can't cut off? My parents, siblings, and even my husband. I get you, my friend, because I've been in the same boat. You can't just cut off family. But here's what you can do. Find your tribe online. The internet is such a wonderful place to meet people who are on the same journey with you. They may share the same struggles as you and understand what you're going through. You can help prop each other up and encourage each other as you go through life. When my son Alphonse was born, I sought out a community of parents who were in the same boat as we were. Parents who have children with special needs. They helped and provided us with support as we learn how to be parents for a child with special needs. This is something that I couldn't share with my own family because they were still in denial that my son has special needs. They want to give me false hope that he isn't, and I was well aware of his condition. What I want that time is support and understanding. So if you can find the support you need from your own circle, go out there and find them. Number 4, remind yourself of your past successes. Now, I understand that every hurdle and challenges you face will always be different. Because after all, when you overcome one, you'd have gained the knowledge on how to overcome similar challenges. But what if it's something that's completely new to you? It's like standing on the edge of a cliff in the dark and you know you have to make a jump to reach to the other side. But you have no idea how the landing will turn out. It's scary enough to make you turn back from that challenge, right? Whenever you face the chasm, I want you to think back to past success. One that took a lot of courage and hard work to make it happen. Now go back to the beginning of that story. Did you feel the same way as you do right now when you were first facing that challenge? That fear of the unknown? How did you overcome that? What did you feel? Elation? Happiness? After I had my son, I withdrew from blogging and designing scrapbook products to focus on caring for him. It took up a lot of my time, and I was on the verge of depression. It was a struggle to stay positive. So to combat the darkness in my thoughts, while my son slept next to me, I took out a Muji notebook and a pencil. I started to draw the letter A. Then I drew it again in a different style, and then another. I posted my work online and found joy in the community I was building there. That was also how Karina Gardner of Mini Lou Kids found me and hired me to work with the alphabet coloring book. And like I mentioned before, I was also filled with self-doubt. Is this project something that I can do? So, I looked back to how I started designing scrapbook kits and remembered that this self-doubt is normal. I felt it before, and if I was able to build a business selling scrapbook kits, I'm also capable of building a business with hand lettering. Number 5, just do it. Because not taking action is regret waiting to happen. Prove your doubts wrong. You are good enough. You can grow a successful creative business, and you are going to live the life you want. Are you afraid you're not skillful enough? Then do something about it. Take up a course or a workshop or purposely set aside time in your day to practice and hone your skills. You're worried that people will judge you? Let me tell you, people are more self-absorbed than you think. They have their own doubts and fears to deal with. And those that do criticize and judge, if it's constructive, thank them for their feedback because it will help your growth. If not, block them, ignore them. I do that a lot with no guilt. You don't know where to begin? Ask. You'd be surprised at how helpful people are. There's plenty of free, useful sources out there. Just do a search on Google, Pinterest, or YouTube. You'll be inundated with all the resources you need. And if you want one, there's something in my website, mydeleon.com, that you will enjoy for free. My friend, you are capable of anything. I want to thank you for listening to today's episode. And I know it's a lot to unpack, but I do hope that you feel more confident in yourself. For today's show notes and resources, you can head over to mydeleon.com/self-doubt. And if you're in need of a like-minded, supportive community, you can join the Confident Creators Facebook group. In the next episode, we're going to the last part of this series, where I saved the best for last. We will be talking about money. Yes, that's right. In the next episode, I will share with you how to overcome the money blocks you never thought about. Money blocks that are stopping you from taking the action you need. If you love this episode and would like to hear more, please subscribe to get notified about the juicy episodes every week. Until next time, this is Mai.